Hi Stampers, it's Rachel here today from Rachthestamper.wordpress.com. I have a super fun little project that we're going to make using the Spooky Fun stamp set. This is going to be in the new holiday catalog, which premieres for customers September 1st. And we're also using, I'm going to show you a couple of them real quick. Pop them out of the big shot here. A couple of the new coordinating framelits that go with this set. And this is called Halloween Scenes. So they have an edgelet of a fence, an edgelet of a tree, and there's a little outline for the pumpkins, there's a little outline for the witch, the tombstones, there's also one for the bat. It's got a lot of little fun stuff in it, but let me move this out of the way so I can show you what we're making. Hang on, it's so fun. Look at this little treat box. Isn't this adorable? So it's a little box. It measures about, what is this? About 4 inches tall. And it's about 4 1/4 inches wide. So you can definitely fit a good size amount of candy in there or another little treat. So this is one side. This is the other. You could make either side the front, up to you. I will tell you, I apologize. I'm using some very old ribbon here because I thought I ordered some Halloween ribbon and I didn't. So I had to improvise. But I'm going to show you guys a couple options that you can use. They do have some great Halloween baker's twine coming. It's black and orange and gray and black. It's really fun. But you can add so many other things to this, but I want to show you just a couple things to get started. Okay, so this is made in a 12 by 12 piece of elegant eggplant. So I'm going to show you how to get started and make it. First of all, we're going to get our Simply Scored scoring tool. Okay, and I have a piece of 12 by 12 cardstock that I cut down 12 by 7. Okay, so we're going to put this in landscape and we're going to score several places. Okay, now when I made this one, I kind of thought after the fact that I'm going to add an extra score line up here at the top just to make these fold a little bit nicer. You don't have to do that, so I'll tell you if you want to stop. It'll just make it look like this flat, but you can add it if you'd like. It's up to you. So we're going to score, so make sure I'm in the frame here. We're going to score it 1 1/2. And we're going to score at 5 3/4. We're going to score at 7 1/4 and 11 1/4. Okay. All right. And then we're going to turn it to portrait and we're going to score at 1 1/2 and 5. Okay, and then the last one. So if this is one you want to omit, you omit this one. But I'm going to try it just to see if I like it better. 6 1/4. Okay? All right, so that's it for the scoring. Move this out of the way. So what we're going to do is we're going to fold this with our bone folder just to reinforce the edges. So this has been a lot of fun getting stuff ready, but at the same time, it's got to be really hard for you guys. You haven't seen the catalog yet. Can't order anything yet. If you don't have a demonstrator and you'd like a copy of the new holiday catalog, all you have to do is shoot me an email at rachthestamper@gmail.com and I'll send you one out. Make sure you include your name and your full mailing address. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We have to do a little bit of trimming. And I just want to make sure I'm doing this correctly. So what we're doing essentially is this little spot is just going to hold our box together. So we're going to just do a little bit of trimming, okay? So we're going to trim. Let me get my big scissors out. We're going to trim. This is the bottom. So you have that last little thin piece, if you want it, is going to be up top, okay? So we're going to do here. We're just going to notch the edges of each of these. I'm going to do here. And we're just cutting up to the score line on all of these. Same thing again. I'm going to notch the edges on these. Just makes the project go together just a little bit nicer. You could also make this into any kind of a box. And I'm going to tell you where I got the idea from this. And this little last piece here we can cut off. So you just notch the edge of this one here. Give that just a little bit more of a notch. So I'm sure I'm dating myself, but I think that's how everyone starts a story. When I was in grade school, I went to Catholic school, and we sold things called Christmas kits. And the Christmas kit was this little box like shape, and it had all this absolutely ridiculous stuff inside that we had to sell, like oven mitts and really crazy looking coffee mugs. And I thought, wow, that would make a really cool box. But their box closed with little flaps on the side. But I was like, we really don't need that because it's not like this is traveling. You had to take this whole box with you everywhere you went. It was so ridiculous. But anyway, okay, so now, this, we're going to trim this as well. So this piece here, this is going to be our flap that meets. We're going to remove this whole little top skinny piece here. Okay, so, and you can kind of do a little bit of a trim here and here just to notch those as well. And then we're going to do same thing again. We're going to trim down here. Okay, and we're going to trim on this one. We're also going to cut out this little middle piece because we don't really need this. So I'm going to just cut this off. Okay, and again, I'm going to notch this just a little bit for now. You'll see, I'm going to do it a little bit more in a bit and you'll see what I did with it, but I'm just notching it slightly. And then same for this one. We're going to notch this one slightly as well. Just a teeny bit. And we're going to cut this one. I'm going to notch this a little bit. And then this piece also is going to come completely off. Okay? All right. So there we go. Get all this stuff out of the way. Okay. Now, one other thing I did punch these after the fact, and I think it'd be better ahead. So this, you're going to actually fold these in because these are going to kind of go opposite. And then up like this. So when we put this together, and I said, I didn't test this one out yet, so I'm hoping it works out well. We might end up putting our little handle up top in this little ridge here. So I'm going to shoot for that. I'm going to try something different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the classic label punch, and I'm going to just kind of center this where I think I like it. Hopefully nice and straight and somewhat even. Okay, I'm going to punch that out, and then I'm going to line these two back up. And you can give this a little fold. It's not going to hurt it. And I'm just wanting to make a mirror image. So I'm going to just line this back up because you're not really supposed to use punches to punch two pieces of paper. So we're going to line this up and then we'll just be punching through in the one spot. Okay, so that way those two things are lined up exactly. Now while you have this out, one other thing you can do is just trim your edges. So you get this nice little side handle here. So I'm going to just trim it down, just giving myself a little bit of a wedge. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. Totally up to you. Let me make sure this is lined up just a little bit. It might just be just a hair off. And if it is, it's really not that big of a deal. So let me trim this. And then I'm going to just trim this piece off. Right like that. It might just be a tiny bit of a skew off, but it's not really going to make a difference. Whoever's opening this is most likely going to be someone who doesn't really care if the edges are off as long as there's candy inside. That's what I'm thinking anyway. Okay, so now we have our little box. What we're going to do is we're going to put some adhesive, okay? I would say I've gone with the tear and tape because I find that if you're going to have little kids handling this, you definitely want to have something sturdy. Okay, so tear and tape there, and then let me see how our box is going to go. So that's going to go on the inside. So we want to cover our flap. So we'll say 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so we're going to put, actually, you know what? We're going to put it on the bottom of both of these little guys, and then we're going to put some on the top for this to adhere to. Okay, so with the tear and tape, you can just put a little piece here. And I will put all the measurements for this on my blog. So in case you can't follow along quick enough or you're rewinding this 800 times. That's what I used to do. I would just rewind it 800 times, watch somebody's video and make it step by step as I went along. But I'm sure I'm not the norm in that. Okay, so we're going to just push this really well. And we'll put our box together. And we'll move on from here. So anyway, this Christmas kit used to have the most ridiculous stuff in it. And I felt like such a ding-a-ling having to go around and sell all this stuff. Not to mention the fact that my brother was also in school. So here we have 2 Christmas kits, which I think was kind of mean because then you have people, you know, in your family that they have to buy something for both kids. A little bit ridiculous. All right, so I'm going to fold this in just like that. I'm going to fold this one in as well so it goes underneath just like that. And you know what? I just did this backwards. Hold on. Before this gets too sticky. Hold on a second. Pull it off. Did that the Polish way. Sorry, Polish people. Not meant to offend. Okay, so I'm going to slide these two under here. There we go. Okay, and then this one is going to fold up. Just like so. And then you're just going to slip this one in right inside. Just like that. And what you can do is kind of give this a push. Put your finger inside. Give it a little bit of a push. Okay. Now, some people like this to be a little bit closed. So if you do, you're just going to push your finger in while you pull this together. And it kind of gives a little bit of a fold. And then this should bend slightly. I'm thinking, is that going to work? Yep. Just like that. So it'll hold it together a little bit better. Okay. So there's our little box. Okay. Now, let me scoot this over just a hair. Because I don't like the way this is meeting. Okay, there we go. All right, so what you have to do is decide which side is going to be your front. I think this is going to be my front here. Yeah, so this is going to be the front. So I'm going to put the main decorations on. And I might switch it around. This time I might do the tree on the front and just a little fence, maybe with the pumpkins on it in the back. Okay, so we're going to move those out of the way. And we're going to take our big shot. I did pre-cut a couple of these. But I also wanted to show you a couple of them because the edgelets, if you're not familiar with them, they aren't going to cut the bottom. So you're going to need to cut the bottom. You're going to need to layer the paper exactly how you want it. That's a better way to put it. Okay. So I did already do a little tombstone. I did 2 different witches, so I'm not going to do either of those. But I'm going to show you how to do the fence and the tree. So to do the fence, if you want the fence to be so you can remove it, you need to make sure that you put your paper down near the bottom. Okay, so it's less stuff to cut. Otherwise, you're going to have to trim it out. Learn that one the hard way. Let me grab one other piece for the tree. And then the same thing with the tree. So if you're going to want to cut this, you're going to want to make sure you put your tree down near the bottom. So you only have this little bit that's going to stick, okay? So you're still going to need to trim it just right here, okay? And one other thing we'll do while we're at it, I'm going to just trim out one bat just for the heck of it, okay? So I'm going to put those on, and we're going to crank those through the big shot. I think I have one other thing I wanted to do. Did I make one ahead? Yeah, I have one other little guy I'm going to do. So cranking those through. All right. And I'm going to just do this in, where's a little piece of orange? I'm not even going to stamp these. I'm going to just I'll put these on the side so I can show you what I mean. I just want to run these little pumpkins through. Just like that. Okay, and then we'll stamp these after the fact. I think that should be it. Okay, so let me get this out of the way real quick. Okay, so for the edgelets, just to give you a little bit of an explanation. So when you punch these out, you see this is still slightly stuck, okay? Because it's an edgelet. It does not cut all the way through on the bottom. There's no cutting blade there. So that's why if you're going to use it, you have to use it near the bottom if you're going to want to remove it. Other thing you want to have handy is either the little brush that you can brush all these little doodads out with. I don't have that yet. So I have the paper piercer, and I'm just popping these little pieces through. And then I'll just rub my finger across the back. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to trim just this tiny piece here and this tiny piece here, just right along the edge. And okay, so there, get those little guys out. So there is your fence, okay? Now, and there's someone told me before they can't see it when it's on the dark paper. So let me show you that like that. So then with your bat comes out easily. No problems whatsoever. And then, move these out of the way, your tree. So the tree is going to be the same way. So with your tree, you're going to need to use your paper piercer just to get it away from the edge. There's also a couple little spots that you have to pop out. So that other little device, if you have it, definitely comes in handy. I just didn't order one yet, so I might get one soon just to try it. And kind of give yourself just a little bit of a wiggle. Okay, and again here, so you'll notice I put this near the bottom, so that's why I'm able to break free my tree. But otherwise, if you put this in the middle of the page, that's where your tree is going to stay until you cut it out. Okay, it also works that way with the, I believe it's the Outdoor Adventure framelits. The mountain ranges and the tree ranges are the same way. You have to make sure that if you want them for layers, you have to put them down at the bottom of whatever page it is that you're going to cut from, or else you're going to need to trim them out. Another bit of advice, if you do have the precision base plate, it will definitely make these cut a whole lot easier. Okay, so there is the tree, the fence, and the bat. And here's our pumpkin, and what we're going to do is I'm going to just stamp that real quick. And we're going to do just a little bit more of stamping. Let me just get a couple of these things out of the way. Okay, and I'm also going to grab my Stampin' Pierce mat because this is a photopolymer set. Okay, so got a lot of cute images here. We're going to do the moon. And let me just grab a little bit of Whisper White. Okay, we're going to stamp the moon. We'll do that in pumpkin pie. It seems Halloween-y. Okay, there's a pumpkin pie moon. While I'm at it, I'm going to stamp a bat in the basic black archival ink. Get this out of the way. Just a bat going through the moon. Kind of over here. It can even be cut out. It's not going to really matter. I'm also going to take my pumpkins and let me see here. Where's my little pumpkins? I don't think I got them out yet. So we're going to just stamp the pumpkins in basic black just to give them the outline. You could do this before if you wanted to. Completely up to you. Pardon my head. Okay, they also have faces. If you see right here, you can put in the pumpkins. I'm going to skip them this time. And let's see, you know what? While we're at it, we're going to do a Happy Halloween. No, how about this one? This is fun. Here's a beautiful tree. It's even cuter. Okay. Cute. Okay, let me get this out of the way. I think that's all the stamping we're going to do, but you know, I could always change my mind. So we're going to use the 1 3/8 inch circle punch to punch out our moon and the bat. Okay, we're going to leave this guy just for now. Let me see what we're going to make of this. I am going to use, actually, you know what we might do? I think might put our bat or I might just do the witch flying through the moon. I think I might do that after the fact. Okay, so we're going to use a little bit of the Tombow liquid glue to adhere our little tree and fence. Oops. This kind of gives you the versatility to continue to move this if you don't exactly like where you have it. Okay. So on the other one we had, this was on the front. So this time we're going to do the tree. We're going to put the tree on the front, and this glue will dry clear, so no worries if it peeps through. Okay. I'm going to just move this down just a smidge. And I'm just pressing through to the back. Okay, while we're at it, I'm going to go ahead and add my pumpkins, but I'm going to pop them up on dimensionals. Okay. 1, 2. You could do also the other thing, if you want to do this, you could do it the same on both sides. You could do it so it's mirror images. That would also be very cute. We're going to put our moon on, just with a little bit of snail. You could also use glue dots. I'm going to put him over here, and we're going to put the witch in front. I'm going to put the witch in instead of the bat. Put the witch up here. So she's flying through the moon. Okay, so that gives a whole lot of dimension to your card there. Other side, we're going to go ahead and put our fence on. And these pieces worked out pretty well. Actually, this one, I think I'm going to just trim. Just this one. Sorry, my fingers are sticky, so now everything's sticking. So I'm going to just trim just the edge of this, just so it doesn't hang over. Okay, just like that. And I'm going to go ahead and put my bat up on a dimensional. Let's see, might need to trim that off. Go. Put my bat up on a dimensional up here. Whoops, did I peel that off? Didn't come off. I thought I did. And I'm going to put my little tombstones down here on the bottom. Let me just get one more dimensional for the middle. It's too big. Dimensionals are nice too, because in a pinch you can always rip them instead of cutting them to trim them. So we're going to put that right there. Just give them a little press just to hold them on there. Okay. And let me get all these extra dimensionals off my fingers. Just bear with me 1 second. Okay. So what we're going to use to close this up, I'm going to use a little bit of the burlap ribbon. Okay. So I'm going to just put this through. Now you would want to put your treats in here first. Put this through. We're going to trim it. This is in the current catalog, the burlap ribbon. And I'm not going to put this edgewise because then it will fray more. So I'm going to just put it together just like this. And then I have some old black twine that I'm going to tie it with. They no longer have this. If I had the new Halloween stuff, I would use that instead. So let me just tie a little knot here. One, oops. Okay, hold on. 1 sec. Let's just trim this up a little bit. Okay. Okay, make that just a hair tighter. All right, so again, like I said, if you don't want this little extra bend in here, or you can actually move it down a little bit if you wanted to, up to you, but I'm going to trim this off just a little bit. And the only other thing I forgot is my little greeting. What did I do with it? Here we go. And I'm going to just trim this off just like so. I'm going to make it straight at the end, just like that. And I'm going to flag the end with my scissors. Let's see if I can do this without ruining it. Nice. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just scrape this in my pumpkin pie ink. Makes that little edge. A little bit on the back. You could, oops, I'm just trying to make it even now. There we go. And I'm going to do this while I'm at it, just to make it a little bit more cohesive looking. Since it's got a smear at the end, I'm just going to sponge the edge of it just a little bit. There we go. And a little bit of snail. So this is the front. So you can put this underneath of your tree so it's kind of sticking off a little bit. You know, and I think I do like this one better without the bend because it seems to stay closed a little bit. So maybe you should omit that. So what I'm going to do is when I do the measurements, I'm not going to put it on there. So, because this isn't staying up quite as nicely either. And this is pretty stiff ribbon here. So what I'm going to say is we're going to omit that last one. And we're probably going to just punch it just like this instead of making the bend. I thought the bend would maybe give it a little bit of something with a little bit more body to it, but didn't work out that way. So that's what happens. You learn. Many different ways you learn things. Sometimes through trial and error. Sometimes through making mistakes. Sometimes just from testing things and making things 2 different ways. So I hope you love this cute little box. It would definitely hold a lot of treats. You could definitely put a good amount of, especially those little miniatures or just the fun size candies would definitely fit in here. You could even fit in good medium-sized punches. If you're giving this to a crafting friend, you could fit in some Tombow. You could fit in a snail. But here's the one side, and then here's the other. And again, you can decorate them any way you want. You could make them so they're mirror images, so both sides are exactly the same. Thanks, guys, for taking time to watch. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. It is Rachthestamper. You can also follow me on my blog, which is rachthestamper@wordpress.com. If you do go to my YouTube channel, right now I'm running a contest till I get to 1,000 subscribers. You just need to subscribe on YouTube, leave a comment with the hashtag Rachthestamper1K, and you'll be entered in the contest to win. It is a really cool prize. It's the Country Living stamp set. I am also on Pinterest. I'm on Instagram. You can find me on Periscope. And I also now have a Facebook channel. A Facebook page for Rachthestamper. So go to Facebook and search me at Rachthestamper. I'd love to know what you guys think of these projects. Getting a little tongue-tied at the end. Just let me know what you think. Let me know if you think this would be great in a different color. It'd also be really pretty if you did it in pumpkin pie or really tangerine tango, but purple, orange, and green and black. Really, really great Halloween colors. But again, this is really versatile. You can make this into a Christmas box as well. So thanks for taking time to watch, guys. I appreciate it. I hope you have a great day.